I don't understand the logic or the mentality that's going on over in Los Angeles right now. It makes no sense. But we do know this. Although LeBron, now say it again, LeBron James is he's one of the greatest basketball players of all time. And by many, they will say he's the greatest of all time. But he's also one of the greatest manipulators that I've ever seen. He controls the narrative. Welcome back to another episode of GOAT Debate Media. I'm your host, Abaya Israel. And shout out to the co-hosts, Coach J.O. and Coach Scott, who are not with us today, but they will be back for the upcoming weekly episode. Guys, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button before we jump into this. And if you have not followed us on Spotify and also on Instagram, make sure you do that as well. Got a topic that I want to jump into. It seems as if the media, ESPN and some other media outlets are now starting to really hold LeBron James' feet to the fire. And it's like they're trying to make him be accountable. There's a clip I have with Stephen A. Smith when he was on First Take talking about his thoughts on, and he's still hitting on this Darvin Ham firing. And you know, we all kind of see it, you know, and the spooky part, and I use spooky for a reason. The spooky part is like so many people can see what's going on, but they reject the facts. And by being honest, you're not taking away from the greatness of LeBron James. LeBron James is one of the greatest players of all time. And many will say that he is the greatest player of all time. But by being honest on some of the theatrics does not take away from that. But it will hold him accountable, as we should do every athlete. So what is Stephen A. talking about? He's talking about the Darvin Ham firing and what led up to it. And after Darvin Ham was fired, you have LeBron James, who just threw the stone, and now he's hiding his hands. Why? LeBron, we saw the tweet of the hourglass. That was for Darvin Ham, indicating that his time is limited. We saw you sitting on the sideline with the snarl, looking at Darvin Ham like you hate the man personally. We saw the temper tantrum and how you exploded on your bench, your coaches. We saw these things, right? And now all of a sudden, recently after that, should I say, we saw when you went over and created a podcast with JJ Redick, start talking X's and O's, and all of a sudden, JJ Redick is now the front runner for the Lakers head coaching job. This is what they're talking about. Now, let's just be honest. If you want to choose the coach, by all means. If you felt like the coach isn't a good fit for you, by all means. But why do you participate behind the scenes, give us all the clues, showing us that you're doing so, and then when someone says, hey, he was a part of this, nope, wasn't me, had nothing to do with it. And all of the LeBron James fans, they just eat it up. Common sense goes out of the window. No one's going to be honest, right? Because if we're being honest, in 2024, being honest is the equivalent of being a hater. So you can't be honest. You can't tell the truth, because if you do that, now you're a hater. And even worse, we've gotten this down in the comment section of the videos. Even worse, you bring down the black community. Oh my God. I don't understand for the life of me how that part even came into play. It just makes, anyways, it makes no sense. So I'm listening to Stephen A. Smith, and, you know, he's calling it out, and he's standing on this. He's not letting it go, and he's being honest. Okay. LeBron James, if you had something to do with the Darvin Ham firing, then say so. All right. You just got to say so. I like how he's saying it. Like, listen, guy. A cat's going to always be a cat, no matter how you try and make it look. You can try and make it look like a horse. You can call it a horse. You can call it a bird, but it's still a cat. We can still see what's going on. And I'm really, I just want to say salute to the media now starting to, and I still think there's more to go, but they're now starting to say, hey, listen, let's look at this. Let's be honest. Let's keep them accountable. And I want to jump into this clip by Stephen A. Smith, and we'll touch on it right after this. Let's check this out.
Stephen A., are you buying that LeBron doesn't want to be involved in this decision?
Hell no. Look, Wendy does a great job, and Wendy, technically speaking, he's absolutely right from the standpoint of what LeBron James doesn't want us to believe. But I'm going to reiterate what I said on national television yesterday. This is throwing zero shade at J.J. Redick. I wish whatever makes J.J. happy, I hope that he gets it. He's a friend of the show. He's a friend of mine. I got love for him. But here's the reality, Big Perk. What did you think? We've always said LeBron James is a master at trying to dictate narratives, right? What are we supposed to believe when you know good and damn well that Darvin Ham is on a hot seat? And you start a podcast with J.J. Redick. It's entitled Mind the Game. And on this podcast, you're talking strategy, you're talking scheme, you're talking all of these different things, right? And then lo and behold, J.J. Redick is the leading candidate for the Lakers job. Now, we can bring up Borrego all we want to and respect the man, but he was in Charlotte. He had one win this season. He won 44% of his games. You think the Lakers could sell that to Laker Nation? Good luck with that, okay? And I'm not saying the man doesn't deserve to be a head coach. I'm just saying that. We all know that J.J. Redick is a leading candidate for this job. Now, I'm not saying what LeBron's intent was or whatever. J.J. Redick is doing an outstanding job for us as an analyst, but we all know he wants to be a coach, and I wish him luck. I hope he gets it. But here's the thing with LeBron. If it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, bro, it ain't a damn mongoose. We know what the hell you doing. Hey, we need to just stop the BS, okay? The man is not going to publicize it, but behind the scenes, he's working what he wants to work. We all know it. Ladies and gentlemen, don't believe a damn thing he says otherwise as it pertains to that. And let's move forward.
And you guys heard what Stephen A. Smith had to say. It's not throwing shade at J.J. Redick. Okay, I mean, who doesn't want a head coaching job? There are some coaches who would not want the Lakers head coaching job, but I'm sure if myself or you could, or anybody or any other coach could get that Lakers job, then they would take it. So no shade to J.J. Redick, but the fact is the fact, why is it so hard for us just to be honest? Okay. Why is it so hard to take accountability? Why is it so hard to say, hey, listen, I'm the man on this team at least for another 2 years, and I don't think Darvin Ham was going to lead us to the promised land. So therefore, I want to get another coach. Why throw those stones and then hide your hand? It's like we did a show. There's a few shows back, probably like 4 or 5 shows back. We did a show and we were covering LeBron James' teammates who stated that it's either you help LeBron James win or you help LeBron James win. And you know what that means. And if you're not doing that, you're out of there. All right. So if you're a coach, you're fired. If you're a player, you're traded or you're not re-signed. And if it comes down to LeBron, he's just going to go to another team. It's all these little clues and things, cryptic messages that he throws out there. And then he hides his hand. And what I'm saying is, think about this. Based on what they were saying, if you don't do your part, and of course, this is the NBA, everyone should do their part. But even if you're doing your part, but it's looked upon as you didn't do enough, then you're to blame. There's no fault to be had for LeBron James. Hands are clean. And he hides his hands. So we assume the hands are clean. For example, in the 2011 Miami Heat finals, when they played against the Dallas Mavericks, Dwayne Wade averaged 26.5 points per game, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. Right? Can you imagine Scottie Pippen averaging those numbers with Michael Jordan? Can you imagine that? And then the following year, when they played OKC, Dwayne Wade averaged about 22 points, almost the same exact numbers. Now, the first year when they lost, when you talk to LeBron James fans, what do they say? He didn't have help. Dwayne Wade was old. He was burnt out. They downplay Chris Bosh. They downplay Dwayne Wade. They downplay everybody. Just instead of saying, you know what? LeBron didn't show up in like 3 or 4 of those games in the fourth quarter where he only scored 2 points. Can we give him some accountability, please? And it's been going on forever. And now this is what Stephen A. is calling out. Come on, guy. We know you had something to do with it. Just be honest. Just be accountable. And then, if that's how you want to operate, by all means. But it's obvious. I want to take you guys to the Kendrick Perkins clip, who's actually a longtime friend of LeBron James. But for some reason, he seems to have maybe jumped off the bandwagon. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but lately he's been more critical of LeBron James. Maybe he just felt like being honest and say, hey, listen, LeBron, you need to be accountable. We need to hold your feet to the fire just like we would anybody else. And you have a lot to do with this, although you're trying to say that you're not. Let's check out Kendrick Perkins and what he had to say.
Does this matter at all? Whoever the Lakers hire, JJ Redick, obviously that's a nice name and everything. That'd be exciting. But does it matter who the Lakers hire eventually? Like, are they just kind of done when you look at the landscape of the Eastern and Western Conference right now?
Here's what I'm saying. I feel like with the Lakers, okay, this doesn't need to be a LeBron James hire. This needs to be an Anthony Davis hire, okay? Anthony Davis is the guy that is in his prime. Anthony Davis is the guy that needs to have the keys to this organization. Not riding in the passenger seat trying to drive the car, but give him the keys. I believe that the Lakers will make a move this offseason and bring in a third star. I don't know if that's going to be Donovan Mitchell. I don't know if there's going to be Trae Young. I don't know if there's going to be Darius Garland, DeJounte Murray. Wow. They're going to bring in a third star. Okay, they got to get better at the guard position. So whoever the Lakers hire, they have to be really, really careful. But for the simple fact that you don't want to lose Anthony Davis. If Anthony Davis become pissed off for some reason because the coach is not, emphasizing him or making him the primary factor, then you could see Anthony Davis getting disgruntled and wanting out of L.A. This has to be an Anthony Davis hire, not a LeBron James hire, Anthony Davis.
And as you heard, Big Perk, he said it. This needs to be a Anthony Davis hire. Why is he saying that? Because everybody knows that LeBron James has positioned JJ Redick to be the next head coach in Lakerland. And we know that's going on. But what Perk is saying, like, listen, LeBron's always saying he has nothing to do with this, but yet everything always works out in his favor. And we know the Lakers will do anything to make him happy. But the Lakers are making a mistake here. LeBron James has already said, I got 2 more years maybe to play. Anthony Davis is in the prime of his career. The Lakers are wasting his prime. It should be, if any player should pick which coach comes in, it should be Anthony Davis. And I know what a lot of you guys are going to say who love to just ignore all the facts and just say, hey, LeBron can do no wrong. And, we're not saying he's wrong. Now, keep this in mind. We're not talking about anything other than basketball-related topics. And it's sad that I even have to say that because people be like, you guys hate this guy. You guys, whatever. We're not saying nothing about this guy, about his being a father, a son, a husband, any of that. We're talking about basketball and what should take place in basketball. And in this situation, I agree with Kendrick Perkins. Anthony Davis should be the guy. If the player is going to select a coach, it should be Anthony Davis. Because when LeBron James is gone, you can keep Anthony Davis there. You can build around Anthony Davis. You can get a coach who he gels with. You can try and get more championships. I don't understand the logic or the mentality that's going on over in Los Angeles right now. It makes no sense. But we do know this. Although LeBron, now say it again, LeBron James is he's one of the greatest basketball players of all time. And by many, they will say he's the greatest of all time. But he's also one of the greatest manipulators that I've ever seen. He controls the narrative. He has a team of people who approaches reporters. They will approach a reporter to try and sway what's being said by the reporters. When have you ever seen players do this? And it's crazy how in 2024, if you say anything about this, it's like saying it's equivalent to saying you hate this guy now. It has nothing to do with hate. I don't know this guy personally, and most of you guys who's saying that never met him either. It has nothing to do with anything personal. It's basketball. And we can clearly see that LeBron James is controlling the narrative, and he's manipulating the narrative and the way in which he wants it to go. Again, we covered a few shows back where his teammates were saying the same exact thing. And all we did was cover what they stated. And all of a sudden, you're a hater or you're bringing down the black community. let's not be silly. Let's be honest with ourselves. There is a narrative that's been created. There's a narrative that's being pushed. There's nothing wrong with talking about it and being honest. It does not take away from the greatness of LeBron James. It does not make us a hater because we chose to say, hey, open your eyes and look at this. There was a movie, if you guys haven't seen it, it's on Netflix, and it's called Don't Look Up. And it just shows how the whole world, and of course we know it's a movie, but it showed how the whole world can be manipulated by a narrative. A meteor is coming to destroy the earth, and they were convinced not to even look up into the sky. And those people who looked up into the sky were deemed the enemies, and they were deemed like weirdos. And it was showing you, and although, again, it's a movie, it showed you how easily people can fall victim to narrative. As people, many people have fallen victim to this current NBA and LeBron James narrative. Guys, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button, and we will see you guys on the next one.